Hello everyone, so here we go again, new video for the channel, and thinking about making a quick video on the surface, like a user interface of the display for the Tesla Model 3. And yeah, I just want to show you the temperature and the weather here for once. It's nice, it's lovely. Okay, so just when you enter into the car, so this is the screen that you will be greeted with, the most generic style of Tesla screens. So on the top left corner you can see that you have your current temperature, and just next to the temperature you have your time for the day, and you see the small arrow next to it. So just because I have changed the theme of my user interface to the dark theme, you can't really see the map on the corner there, but if you touch on that small arrow it will take you to the map side of your interface. So if you are not looking at the map, which is the satellite view, you can touch on the screen again and that will give you certain options to change. So the first one on the top is just to show you the direction of the car. You can change it so that it always points to the north, and if I touch on it, it will always change the angle of the map towards the north. If you tap on it again, it will change back to the direction at which the car's nose is pointing at. So the next button below that is the switch that will change from the generic maps through the 2D lines generic map to the satellite view. So this view to the satellite view, and for you to have the satellite view you need to have the premium Tesla services, which cost around like £10 per month. So with the premium services you get the satellite view, you also get the live traffic. So if you switch on this toggle below that, the next icon that triggers on and off the current traffic updates. For example, if I zoom on this roundabout, which is just behind the university, that's a very popular roundabout on A1M. So just by turning this switch on and off, you can see that it shows me the live congestion and the live traffic congestions of that roundabout. And the one below that, it shows you the nearby shops, what do you call it, nearby locations, any famous things that you need to look for. So if you're looking for cafes, some shops, areas, name of maybe some nearest charging stations, and all those kind of things are toggled on and off by using that particular icon. Okay, and the one below that, if you press on that, that shows you all the nearest Tesla superchargers or any kind of a public chargers which are available for you to use, slow or fast. And how you trigger which one you wanted to search for is by looking at this electricity volt sign on the top. So the one which shows you just one number here, if I tap on it, it will only show me the one which are like a less powerful one. So these are the different superchargers that you can see here, and it will show you the one with the high capacity ones, so 250 kilowatts and more. So that's one way of looking at your nearest charging points. And the one below that is just the live weather update. So if you tap on it, it will show you the current precipitation and the clouds, how they are formed and which areas has more clouds, and so on and so on. So you can zoom out to see, like here I wasn't seeing anything because generally in the UK the weather stays more or less gloomy, so you can see why and in which direction the wind is flowing and so on and so on. So that's the forecast, weather forecast. And while you're driving, if you're looking at it, if you tap on that particular app or particular tool, it will not stay on the screen forever. So while you're driving it will show up for a while and then it will just go away. Okay, so moving back, so if I tap back, it will take me back to my current location. And if I just wanted to show you the rest of the interface, so I can just move the map to the side, and here you can see that we have an SOS emergency switch, and next to that is, you see the two concentric circles, that is your centricity mode, which means that if you keep it on, if you tap on it, it will toggle on, which shows you with the red circle inside it. So if you keep it on, that records the video footage from all the cameras around your car. So if your car is parked anywhere, and if someone get too close to the car, or if someone try to honk at your car, it will just take a 15 to 30 seconds video recording from all the cameras at once, just for the safety of the car. And next to that, it's a driver's profile. So if I just tap on that button, it will not do anything. It will just show me that how many drivers are associated with the current profile in the car. So as you can see, my name, and it just save certain settings in the car. For example, your seating profile, your temperature, your choice of volume at which you like to listen to your music, and all those kind of things are all saved to your specified driver's profile. So if you have more than one driver in your family, and if you want to save the seating settings, the driver seat settings for that particular person, like how tall or how far he needs from the rest of the arrangement, each particular driver can have its own settings saved in their driver's profile. So even if you are, for example, if you're going out to test drive another Tesla, and they will ask you if you have a Tesla account, and if you set up your Tesla account with the test drive car, it will upload the same driver settings from your original Tesla, the one car that you already have, onto the test drive car. So you feel more comfortable and you feel more familiar with the driver profile. So that's how they save the settings, and that's how they keep it all online. So yeah, so on the left you see the battery percentage, and just below the battery percentage you have any kind of a notification that pops here. So it's a notification corner. So for example, right now it says I haven't fastened my seat belt. So if you tap on to drive, so if I press on the brake pedal, as I have already set up pin to drive mode, it will ask me my specified pin. So I'm just gonna input my pin. I'm gonna move the camera away. Yes, so as the pin has been set up, now the car shows me that it's ready for the drive. So just next on that notification corner, on the top you see it's written as chill mode. So the chill mode stands for what kind of acceleration profiles I have set up for the car. So generally, if you keep it at standard, the inertia and the acceleration on EVs are really powerful. So in stop and go traffic, in my experience, in my own opinion, I feel like I'm not comfortable driving at standard because it's too quick sometimes, and specifically if you're driving in a stop and go traffic. So if you have to change that, I'll show you later how to change that particular setting, but I'm just showing you here on the screen for now that what are the different notification panels and what each particular thing represents. So that chill mode represents that I've put my acceleration to be on a chill mode. So if I'm driving off from stop and go traffic, it's just gonna accelerate very smoothly, very slowly. So after that you have PRND, that's for your park, reverse, neutral and drive. So in the new software update 14.4, so with that one, what we have seen is if you just press on the brake pedal, so for example, I'm not gonna touch the screen to change it from drive if I'm asking my car to move forward or backward. And another way to do that is you can even swipe up and down on the screen. So for example, if I swipe up from here, that's putting my car into drive mode, and it's showing me with the arrow that the car is about to move forward. If I pull it back, if I drag it back, that's in the reverse mode. You can see all the cameras are triggered now and the sensors are triggered, so that shows you that the car is moving in the reverse mode now. So if I tap on this P icon here, that just parks the car for the parking. So you just need to tap, and your seat and your steering, everything is just restored back to the parking mode, which is like a relaxed seating mode. You can have a different seatings location presets into your driver's profile. So another way to change this gear system is, or you can say the drive system, if you want to move forward or reverse, is by toggle down on these icons here. So if you just tap once, all of them will lit up. It will show you what are the different profiles you have: parking, reverse, neutral and drive. So if you're not comfortable with the touch screen, like swiping your finger on the screen all the time, so you can either use those physical hard press. It's not physical, more like a capacitive, touch sensitive physical buttons. So something like that. So with the new software that I was talking about earlier, with that one, what changes have been made is, if you just when you're in the park and when you press on the brake pedal and you say you're ready to drive, so for now what it's not showing anything is just because I haven't fastened my seatbelt. So just give me a minute, I'll fasten my seatbelt. So I've fastened my seatbelt now, and you can see the blue light flashes in the forward and the backward, which means that the system is telling me the car is now ready to leave. So it's asking me for an input. Do I want to move the car forward, or do I want to move the car backward? So, and it's also showing you on the screen that it's asking for choose a direction on the touch screen. So if I just press on the brake pedal and I choose a direction like this, so I can just drag it to the top to drive. And if I press it again, so let me just do the park first, because what I wanted to show you, sometimes it needs to trigger automatically. So I'm now ready to drive. I'm gonna put on the brake pedal, I'm gonna fasten my seat belt, and okay, I will add that later on. I think when I'm already sitting in the car, I need to step out of the car, lock the car, and then step inside again to auto toggle the forward and the backward motion. So with the new software, what I was talking about earlier was that if you press on the brake pedal, the cameras will look into the surroundings and it will automatically trigger if the car wants to move forward or if the driver is looking for reversing the car into the bay. So that's quite helpful, and in my opinion, in my experience, I think I've seen it working almost 65 to 70% of the time, depending on how your surroundings are like. So that's one thing about the software. So it's always hit and miss with these kind of new features that they add into the software. It generally takes some time for it to get like very optimized for the different locations. Okay, moving on. So that's your general interface of the car. So you can just tap on the car, drag the car to move it in the 3D space, and once you do that, you can see that certain dots appears on different corners of the car. So those dots are your user input dots that you might need to use to open your front boot or your charging port, or as they call it, the front boot is often called as frunk, which is like front trunk. So that's the rear trunk or the rear boot. And you can just tap on it and you can click on open and it will open the boot for you. So let me do that again. So as you can see in the screen, the boot is open now. So that helps you in opening the boot from inside of the car, and if you want to close it, just tap on it again and it will close. So as you were seeing that it was showing you with the pause sign, here, that you want to pause the boot in between, and you can do that. And with the new software, you can even save the opening height of the boot. I'll make another video on it, how to do that, but you can even do that based on a different locations where you drive your car. So if you often drive your car between your like your house and your workplace, and you know that if you're gonna park your car inside the garage, your garage has certain height limits, restrictions to it, then you can save your boot opening height for that particular location, and it will be saved on your map. So anytime you go to your garage, once your car is parked there, the boot will only open to a certain height. Okay, so yeah, so that's the interface for the maps as I was showing you earlier. So if you just tap on it, and that shows you that toggle which was over here, which was regarding the navigation switch, so that moves on the top of the map now. So you can even put the navigation directly from here. You can type in the place and it will take you to that particular location, and you can do a lot more in this like in detail. For example, like you can set up a workplace, you can set up a home place. For example, if I just tap on the workplace, I haven't set up anything as my workplace. Let me put this place as my workplace. So it will show me how far the particular location is, how much battery I will be left with, and how much time it will take me, what is the distance and everything. So in certain locations, if you're planning for a long trip, and I made this particular recording in my other video when I went for camping in Scotland. So if anybody wants to look at that, they can refer to that video. So if you are planning for a long trip, let me say if I want to go to Manchester, right? So I can say let's say Manchester Airport, and it will show me, yeah, so it shows me that it's 3 hour 27 minutes of trip, and I need to charge on my way, and I will be there with 9% battery. Okay, so 39 miles, 9% battery, which is the first charger that I will see on my way. So if I wanted to change the location or the end charging, I can just click here and I can say edit set arrival energy, and I can change that arrival energy to be 20, 30, 40, whatever percent I want, and I can save, and the map will reroute and will suggest me a new path, new charging stops in between, so that by the time I reach the airport I will be with at least 50% battery as I intended for. Okay, so let me just end the trip. Yeah, so with the new software's updates on the new Model 3, a lot of things has been changed from the previous version of the Model 3, and one of the biggest changes was, as previously when you used to drive your car to the nearest superchargers, the car would not automatically put on the preconditioning of the battery, which technically means that it will not heat up the battery to have a fast charging triggered. So you have to manually trigger the preconditioning. On the newer model and the newer software version, all that preconditioning is done automatically. So once you put in the location for the nearest charger, you will see this notification here. Let me put the location for the nearest charging. You will see the notification popping up here saying preconditioning battery for the fast charging. So that's done automatically now with the new software. So a couple of things has been changed, and I think all of those changes are very welcome, and it helps, it does ease off the process of driving Tesla even more. So some things that you were stressed about before, you don't really need to be stressed anymore. And moving on, so this is the interface where you have a couple of widgets. Let's say widgets, you're quite familiar with widgets on your phone and on the tablet. This is quite similar to that. So the first widget will always show you the current media which is playing. So in my case, I have some music playing on Apple Music. So this is where you can play, pause, move forward, shuffle, repeat, or play the songs in the loop. And if you click on this sign, it will show you the settings, audio settings to change your bass, your mid and your treble level. So you can even go into balance. You can move how you want to change the orientation or the way the sound is been coming from, and you can either change the sources. So some sources which you don't use commonly, for example, I don't use Tidal and Audible and Amazon Music commonly. I just try to turn it off. If you turn them all on, so what it does is, if you keep all of them on, you just see those apps in the app drawer for no reason. So if I don't use those apps, I don't want to see them on the drawer. So if you want to keep all of those apps here, you just might as well just keep everything on. Okay, so that's for the music, and that is the search for any new song you need to search for. And once you do the search, the good thing about the interface is it just don't search in one particular application. So if you're searching for a new music, it will search for that particular track on all the music applications which are available in the app drawer. So for example, I have Spotify, I have YouTube Music. So when I search for a song, it will show me the same song on Apple Music, Spotify, as well as on YouTube, asking which particular application I want or I would prefer to play the song from, which is quite good. I like that feature. Some people I've heard, they don't really prefer that feature, but I like it. It's quite handy. So if you just swipe on this widget, you see the current drive stats and your since last charge and the odometer of the car. So this is also quite helpful, and there is a way you can change these in your trip settings under the settings section of the car. I'll show that to you later, how to do that, but having them on the screen is quite helpful. And if you swipe one more time, you see the tire pressure. So Tesla does recommend 42 psi for the standard Tesla Model 3, which comes with 18 inches wheels. So the thing, as it will show you a bit high pressure here, is even if you set it at 42, when you drive in, specifically in this weather when it's quite warm nowadays, when you drive in a warm weather, the pressure builds up in the tires. So you need to check this regularly to try to keep the tire pressure maintained and to keep it in that range. Do not exceed anything more than 46. It's quite dangerous because that affects your braking performance. So anyway, so that was your main user interface, and at the bottom you have something known as, I like to call it my like a taskbar. So on the left you have the volume switch, volume toggle. So if you press on it once, it shows you the volume dial. You can just drag on it, or if you just select this and then drag on the volume icon itself, that also acts in the same way. So this was something that I was a bit concerned about before getting this car, that I was a bit tricky. I think it will be really tricky when I'm driving, and at the same time I need to change the volume on the tracks, because like there's no joke, when you're driving on a motorway you don't know where your fingers are touching on the screen. So the good thing is that it's all in one corner. So as it's in one corner, once you try tapping anywhere, it will just toggle the volume thing. And the good thing is you can just try to drag it in any sense, even from the switch or from the screen, and it will work. So that's quite good. And I think based on users' feedback, the people who are working on the design of these software, they're actually looking into these feedback, because I heard like a couple years ago people were talking about it, that it's very tricky to toggle the volume switch when you're driving. And I think the same thing goes with the air conditioning switch, so the temperature switch. So if you tap on it once, you will have the air conditioning menu open up. So this is the interface for the air conditioning, and if you want to change that interface, like it not the interface, if you want to change the direction of the air, you just simply drag and move the air stream, so that changes the direction at which that you want the air to be from. So this is behind the steering, and this is for the front. And for the rear, you can just tap on the rear and you can do the same for the rear. Okay, and for the front you have the options to change the flow of the air. You can have an option to change from an air conditioning on and off, and currently I'm running the air conditioning on manual, but you can even trigger it to switch it on for auto. So if I switch it on, you can see the fan speed has increased, and everything is just trying to keep the temperature at 21.5 degrees Celsius. So I'm just going to turn it back to manual so you guys can hear me clearly. And I'm gonna reduce it to, let's say, 2. I think that's better. So here you have a bunch of other options. So this is auto recirculation of the air, so outside air coming inside the car, keeping it all fresh and all. So I leave it on auto, but if you are come across with someplace stinky on the driveway, so or on your drive, you just trigger it manually to keep it circulating the inside air. That's for the fan speed. This is for the heated windscreen, so the front screen, and that's for the heated rear screen. And this is for the heating steering. I put it on auto. You can toggle it manually if you want. There are like 2 different modes for it, and if I keep it on auto, I think auto works perfectly. This is for the heating wipers. So the wiper fluid in winters, if you want to use it like in below 0 degrees Celsius, it's really handy, and it also toggles on automatically. So the car has sensors and everything inside it, so when you're driving in the winters, it will look into that the front windscreen is not clearly visible. It means it has fog, or it has some condensation on it, or there's some snow on it. So it will look into that and automatically trigger the heating in the air conditioning, which works for both front windscreen, rear windscreen, the side view mirrors, and the heated wipers, to keep it all ready for you to use. So that's quite handy. And the one after that is your ventilated seats. So I have added that option over here just on my taskbar, as I was saying before. So if you want to keep anything else over here, if not the ventilated seats, so for example, let me just show you the ventilated seat, how it works. So I kept it on cooling seats right now, and on the first setting you can tap it off. So once you turn it on again, it will be auto. So on auto, it will sense how much temperature is on the seat and what's the temperature outside, and if you really want cool seat or you want hot seats. So if you want to keep any other tool from the air conditioning menu at this location of the taskbar, all you have to do is you have to long press that tool. So once you long press that particular action, some action tools shows up in the menu over here, which is the same app drawer menu, and you can just drag and you can just replace that action tool with something else. So new things can be added into the section, and there are only few things that you can add in this corner. So this is something you can just fiddle around with later on to see which one works better with your preference. Okay, so let me just tab out again here. So these are a couple of things which I use on my daily basis when I drive. So camera usually I use when I'm going through some when I need to squeeze through some tight spaces. So when you tap on the camera, the outer view of the car starts triggering all the sensors, and it starts calculating how far or how close the particular obstacle is, which is quite handy in terms of like getting in and out of tight spaces, specifically in UK when you're going through some tight car parks. So that's quite handy. And moving on, next to that is you can already see this has a phone icon to it. So if you tap on it, it will show you your directories and the people you wanted to make a quick call to. And yeah, so once you set up your phone, like once you connect your Bluetooth phone with the Bluetooth with the car, so it automatically start loading your contacts and everything is already set up, so you don't need to worry about anything. And that's your like current media on which you're playing the music. So if you're playing the music on Spotify, it will change to Spotify. If you're playing the music to radio, it will change it to radio. Whichever app you prefer, it will change it to that particular app. So the one after that is your app drawer, and the one after that which I commonly use is the energy app. So energy app shows you the energy of how the battery is being consumed and how your last drive was. So if you just tap on the trip, so it will show you the current drive. So and if you tap on the rated one, it will show you the last since the battery was charged, how much energy has been consumed, how much mile you have driven your car, and what are the most common things which have used most amount of energy, which in my case, because the weather is getting quite hot over here, so in my case the climate has used more energy, and it will show you some suggestions or the tips to keep the energy as less as possible or as standard as what the company has intended it to be. So this is a couple of things that might be helpful if you're very concerned about how efficient is your drive. So there are a couple of things you can look into is when your car is parked, if you have been listening to a lot of music, if you're watching any movies or something, or if you just keep on using your air conditioning on. So it will also show you, if you keep on doing that, how much of a battery will last for and what kind of a range you might expect out of the remaining percentage of the battery. So that's the consumption. Again here it shows you the graph of the consumptions. So anything in the green shows you when the energy was generated to recharge the battery. Anything in the orange or the yellow color shows you how much energy has been used to drive off the car. So the maximum that I have went to, I think, was somewhere between 750 to 780. So that's quite high. On average, the car would keep it between 250 to 280 watt-hour per mile. So if you are getting something like 350 or more than 350,
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel alive, and there's nothing that makes me happy. Hold my beer for a minute, I'm about to quit my job, cash in for a ticket. I'm going on a trip and I don't plan to visit. I'm gonna stay there till I feel like I'm winning, and this is just the beginning. I need a big change, help me feel like living. I need a big swing, home runs I'm hitting, and I'll never look back, moving on till I get it all. And we all got dreams, we all want things, but what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? And do you believe you can do anything? But what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? My strife, my right to fight, to die on. And this is my game to play, to claim a brand new name, And I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm a bit nervous that I might screw everything up that I've ever done. But what's the point of living if you ain't having fun? I guess I'll try this, try that, might miss, gotta find what I'm good at. I guess I look here, look there, over where am I scared, where am I at? I gotta make it in this life, whatever makes me happy, know I'm doing things right. Sipping in the summer on a goose and Sprite, or find a nightclub for the end of the night, And we all got dreams, we all want things, but what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? And do you believe you can do anything? But what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be?
That's the reason, because Sentry mode just uses a lot of camera, lot of battery, sorry. So that's for the Sentry mode, and all the videos how to access them. That's the energy graph, and that's the same app that I showed you before, the energy app. And the phone, you have your calendar. You can link your office and your personal calendar to your car. So if you have any upcoming events or birthdays or marriages, you can look into that in your car's calendar. And yes, so calendar, and after that you have messages that will only populate the messages that you usually receive on your phone number, not on your WhatsApp or on your FaceTime, iMessages or those kind of things. And after that you have another application called Zoom. So people who uses Zoom a lot, as you already know, all the Tesla comes with indoor camera, as you can see over here. Let me try to show you. Yep, that's the camera. So if you wanted to attend your Zoom meetings while being inside your car, maybe on the go somewhere, so you can use that application for it. And then you have theater mode. So the theater mode comes pre-installed with some apps for you to use if you already have an account on Netflix, Disney Plus, YouTube, Twitch, or you just wanted to watch some Tesla tutorial how to use the interface and all, you can do that from here. So initially, when I took the delivery of my car in March, the Netflix application was in particular the one which never worked, and it used to give me a pop-up message on the top saying the videos or the location of the particular application is from Netherlands and the account that you're using is from UK, so for some reason you cannot watch any show. So that was because all Teslas which are delivered in Europe and in UK comes with a pre-installed SIM card which is from Netherlands. So the internet that it uses is from Netherlands. So for you to use any Netflix or you to watch any shows on Netflix, previously you need to connect it to your local Wi-Fi. So luckily that problem has been fixed now with the new software version of the new software update 14.10. Since then it has been fixed, and the thing is, like, it runs quite smoothly now. So if you just tap on it, and it will just open up Netflix on a massive screen, and you can just select your profile, and you can just watch whichever shows, whichever movies you wanted to watch, which is quite handy, which is quite nice. This was one thing I was not happy about before, but now they have fixed it with the new software update. So kudos to the team working for Tesla software updates. So that's good. And another thing I wanted to mention here is people who buy a lot of movies through Google Movies account, you know that already, that you can watch those movies on YouTube. But specifically on this app, I think that's a new problem, and maybe Tesla might fix it in future. Specifically on this app, those movies you cannot play them, because the system cannot identify that this particular YouTube is an app, not a website. So if you try to do that, think of it as a website, and it shows you a message saying you cannot play bought movies or movies that you bought from the app on the website. You need to open the application for it. So that's another annoying thing, which hopefully Tesla will fix it in future. So that's your theater mode. So going back into the app drawer, the next thing we have is arcade. So arcade is a bunch of games, comes pre-installed with your Model 3 standard or with other Model 3 as well. So you can just, on some of the games you don't need a connector. So you can see here it says it needs a connector. So you need a gaming controller, not the connector, sorry, gaming controller. And this one, it doesn't need a gaming controller. This one doesn't need a gaming controller, blah blah blah. So you can just browse through all these games, and you can see which one requires one, which one cannot require one, and you can easily connect PlayStation 5 controller with the car. I have seen it much easier to connect the PlayStation 5. For some reason I cannot connect my Xbox controller to the car. Maybe it's just some compatibility issue. Maybe Tesla's people are working on it, and they might just send another update in future to fix that. So for now that's the case. You cannot connect an Xbox controller, but you can easily connect a PS5 controller. Or if you wanted to use a wired controller, you can even connect that. If you find the USB slot in the glove box, just take out the USB pen drive, the USB stick that Tesla provides you, where they are recording all the Sentry and the security videos on. Just take that one out and connect your wired controller into that slot, and it will work. So that's also quite good. So that's your arcade app, and then after that is your toy box. So toy box is quite, I would like to say, a bit of a gimmick for some people, but I quite enjoy it sometimes. So you can have a light show in your car in the night. So it just start playing some music from your media library, and it uses all the lights inside the car, outside the car, to just show you some light show on the outside the car. And it also plays some music from the speaker which is outside the car, which is often used as the horn, the speaker which is often used for the horn for the car. It also uses that speaker to play the music. So that's quite good. And this is the rainbow road, which is maybe something you will use with your kids maybe. So if you just toggle that on, and if you put your car on autopilot, so it just changed that the pathway of the road into a rainbow road. Nothing special, just something for kids. And then something everybody aware of, like what you can do with these kind of things. You can make fart noises and stuff like that. And then you have boombox. So this is quite funny in a sense that you can change the locking sound of the car. So when you step out of a car, you can change how what kind of a sound the car should make. You can even make a rubber duck sound, you can make an old school horn, and all those kind of funny things you can do with it. And you can even change the sound of the car's horn. So if you want your horn to say, oh please get out of the road, you can even record your own audio, save it on a USB stick, connect it to the same glove box point, and then select that audio from here, and it will play that particular sound as a horn. So that's quite funny, and you can just like play around with this kind of things. Like it's surprising to see that with EVs you get a little more than the regular car. And I know for a lot of people out there, it's not something that you fancy, but you cannot deny, if you have a family, if you have a kids with you, this is a bit more fun you can get out of your car. And in my own experience, I think you can even personalize it to a level that you can have your own locking sound if you wanted to do that. So that's quite handy. And then this is the Santa mode during Christmas if you want to engage that for kids inside. So that's quite good. And this is the colorizer. So you can change the color of the car, so how it looks on the user interface. So that's another thing you can do. And then you have the romance mode, and once you toggle that on, so what happens is the car starts putting out hot air, and it just turns out change the screen to a fireplace. So another thing, if you feel like it's a gimmick or if it's something useful, I don't know, for some people it might be helpful. And then you have Sketchpad for kids to play around with. And then the last one is the Mars. So if you toggle that one on, so what happens is it changes the surroundings, which is your map, to the location on the Mars. So that now shows you the location on the Mars and where the rover is. And this is all accurate. This is not something generated from an AI or just a computer graphics. These are the right amount of data taken out from the NASA's own satellite and the Curiosity rover that they already have on Mars. So this is like quite maybe not Curiosity. Curiosity was on Mars. Anyway, forgive me if I say any wrong names for the rovers, but what I was saying was that the data is taken from those rovers, and whatever image you see is accurate to the real life location on the Mars. So the thing is, once you switch it on, for you to go back to your regular navigation, you have to go back into the toy box and you have to turn it off. So you have to go here, turn it off, and that's how it will go back to the normal navigation you can see in the background. So moving on to the next app, you have something known as like your browser. So if you want to use or you want to search anything on the browser, this is where you can do that. And I have seen in most cases, if you have certain applications, for example like entertainment apps, those applications which are not in the theater mode, for example, we don't have Amazon Prime here. So if you wanted to watch something on the Amazon Prime, you can, rather than crying about not having an application, you can just go into your browser, open Amazon Prime in the browser, and start playing your favorite shows and the movies, and it works perfectly fine. There's no lag, nothing in it, and you can even zoom out to be on the full screen, so that's quite good. Yeah. So another application after that is your manual. So that just contains information about your car, how to change the direction of the mirrors, how to adjust your steering wheel, how to adjust the seat, so on and so on, but the driver's profile, everything that I talked about in the interface side of the display, you can look into that. And if you need another video talking about the details of how to change the settings on the steering direction or the mirror directions, I will make another video on that as a separate video in detail. So moving back, you have the Spotify and you have Bluetooth, you have radio. So if you have some songs that you wanted to play out of your mobile device like phone or your tablets, then you can connect your phone to the Bluetooth with the car, and then you can play the song on your car and it will output the audio through the speaker system of the car. So that's quite handy here. And then you have a radio. So let me just reduce the volume. So that's your radio. It already has some pre-installed radio stations. It's more like a digital radio rather than getting some radio frequency signals and then outputting some audio. So the good thing is with that, it comes with a very high quality sound, and you don't need to like search for the radio stations. So that's also quite good. And then you have karaoke. So if you are with the family or with your friends and you wanted to have a little fun of your own in the car, or maybe the time you wanted to kill the time when you are charging your car, so you can have like a little karaoke session. You can play some famous songs and you can sing with them. The lyrics will show on the screen and the music will play in the background. I'm not gonna do that because otherwise I'll have a copyright on this video, but I've just showed you how to do it if you are into this. Then you have Apple Music, then you have Apple Podcast, then YouTube Music and TuneIn Radio. So it only shows the apps that I generally use on my day-to-day life. So if you want those other apps that you might remember that I turn it off, let me show you how to bring them on. So if you touch the sound icon here and go into audio settings, if I turn Kindle, Audible and Amazon Music on, or toggle them on, so if I go back into my app drawer, now you can see that those apps are here. So Kindle is here, Audible is here, Amazon Music is here. So just something that you can customize the way you want your app drawer to look like, and all the other things. So that's the main user interface of the display. So now I'm gonna jump into the settings sections of the car. So for the settings, you just tap here, and these are the settings of the car. Okay, so I can go into this in quite detail, and I'll make another video on this. So for this video, I'll just try to keep it simple about just the user interface of the car, how to move from one app to other, how to change the music, and all the other things that you can do. And when you have this app interface moving around here, if you want to go back into your navigation, all you can do is you can just tap on the top and bring it down here. You can drag it down at the bottom to bring back to the navigation. Another thing I wanted to show you is, if you using your turn indicators, you see you have a small display here which shows you the blind spot view of the car. So if you're not happy with the location of this video, you can just drag and move it anywhere you prefer. So if you prefer on top of your map, on the top left corner, so this is where you can leave it, and every time when you toggle the indicator switch again, it will show you the video in that corner, which I believe is quite handy, because then you can customize the way you prefer the things on the screen. Okay, I think that would be all for now. For this video, I'm gonna keep it just for the interface. I know it has already been exceeded over 40 minutes, but I just wanted to make another detailed video on the settings of the car, which will probably gonna be as long as this one. So I hope everybody enjoyed this video, and if you really like the things that I do give us a thumbs up, and put some comments about what you wanted me to talk about the car, something in detail that you wanted me to address, then we can make another video on it. Alright, thanks you, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.